Hello people, a very good evening to all of you. So guys, today we're going to start a brand new topic, which is cash flow statement. From the 12th examination point of view, this is definitely going to be a very important chapter. And like other chapters, guys, we don't have any concept of debit credit as such here. No preparation of trading, P&L, balance sheet, nothing. There's a unique format that is being prescribed, which will be learning. So we need to understand a lot of things from the basics. So I would suggest all of you to kindly lend your ears and understand each and everything conceptually. So guys, the name of the chapter is cash flow statement. So this has got something to do with cash. Cash means money. And we are going to see the flow of cash. Flow means what? Inflow and outflow. So basically, guys, this is a statement which will capture the inflow and the outflow of the cash. Now you may wonder that, sir, already we're preparing one document called as cash account, cash ledger, where already the inflow and outflow is captured. Then why are you trying to prepare another statement and trying to capture the inflow and outflow? My dear friends, if you have a look at the cash account, on the debit side, you capture all the money that is coming inside the business. And on the credit side, you capture all the cash that is going out of the business. You don't categorize anything per se. Whatever money is coming in, from whatever sources it is coming in, everything is being captured on the debit side. And to whichever sources the money is going out, it is being recorded on the credit side. Cash flow statement, guys, is an analysis statement. Why do I call it as analysis statement? Is because if you remember your 11th standard, in the very first page of your textbook, we learned that accounting is a systematic process of identifying a business financial transaction, measuring in terms of money, recording in form of journal entry, classifying by way of ledger, and summarizing in trial balance, P&L, and balance sheet. We don't stop our accounting, or the concept of the accounting does not end with summarizing, that is the preparation of balance sheet. We go one step ahead to interpret the financial statement what you've prepared. Interpret means what? Analyze. You analyze the financial statement information and then you communicate them to the users of the financial statement. This line, guys, this statement is there in your very first page of your 11th standard textbook. Now, analysis means what? Once the financial statement is prepared, if you remember, we have done the ratio analysis chapter, that is accounting ratios. I told you the significance and the importance of analysis, right? So financial statements needs to be analyzed, because just by looking at the P&L that the company is having sufficient profit, or just by looking at the balance sheet and feeling that the company's position is good, that does not work like that. You need to really, have a count on all the various factors, have a check on all the various factors to understand whether the company is actually healthy or not. And these analyses are mostly done by the investors and the bankers before they decide to invest in a company. So there are various tools of analyzing. The first tool of analyzing the financial statement is comparative size statement, or comparative statement, I would say. Second is common size statement. Third is trend analysis. Fourth is ratio analysis. Fifth is cash flow statement analysis. Now, these are the 5 tools which is there in your syllabus. These are not the only 5 tools of analysis. There are much more to it. For example, 6th one is fund flow analysis. So these are the various analysis document that we prepare to understand something above and beyond what is there in the balance sheet and P&L. All of you understand the significance of ratio analysis by now. I've not done with you the tools of financial statement analysis. The chapter is yet to do with you. So in that you'll understand, these 3 kinds of analysis. Ratio analysis we have already done in the term 1, and cash flow statement analysis is something which we are doing it now. So analysis is very important for us to understand. So when I talk about cash flow, here we are trying to analyze the inflow and outflow of the cash. So in your cash account and the bank account, the inflow and outflow, like on the totality, is getting captured. Whereas in cash flow statement, the inflow is broken into 3 parts. The outflow is broken into 3 segments. So in each segment, what is the money coming from? Where is the money coming from? To where the money is going to? We break it into 3 segments and try to analyze okay, from which source what has come and to which destination what has been applied. Are you able to understand? Cash flow statement is a statement that shows cash flows, that is cash inflow and outflow of cash. Cash means all of you know money, hard cash, and cash equivalence, something which is equivalent to cash. So what is cash equivalence? I'll be discussing in very short time. Cash flow statement is a statement that shows cash flow, inflow and outflow of cash and the cash equivalents during the accounting period, from one, operating activity, second, investing activity, and third is the financing activity. I told you that inflows are broken into three parts. Outflows are broken into three parts. These are the three parts. We want to know that how much money is generated from the operating activity, how much money is inflowing from the investing activity, how much money is generating inflow from the financing activity, how much money is going towards operating activity, how much money is going out in the investing activity, how much money is going out in the financing activity. So in and out of cash and cash equivalents, in these segments we are going to learn. To be more precise, it's like this. This is a bucket where you have blue balls, the red ones, and the black ones. So this is your basically cash account or bank account, I would say, where all the inflows, all the outflows from all the segments is there in one bucket. So now we have to segregate the red ones in the red bucket. So you will take all the cash inflows and outflows from one segment and put it in those buckets. From here, you'll put it in the red ones in the red bucket, the blue ones in the blue bucket, and the black ones in the black bucket. So once you segregate it, it is very clear to me that whatever money is flowed inside the business, it is coming from which source. For example, if I have to talk about operating activity, operating activity is basically the main purpose for which you have started the business. My business is what? Taking classes, correct? So what is my major operation? Conducting coaching classes. So from that, if I generate money or cash flow is coming from the operational activity, then I'd say that cash inflow from operational activity, from the core business activity. Now there could be a possibility that there are certain, what you call wear and tone assets, which I'm disposing it. And from that, I'm getting some money. Or let's say because there are old furnitures, I'm selling that and I'm getting, inflow from that. So basically, I made investment in the assets. So by selling the assets, I'm getting my money. So money is coming from investment activity. So I'm giving you a comparison of two activities. Okay. Operating activity means money coming from the core business activity and money coming from the non-core business activity. That is by selling the assets. It's called as cash flow coming in from the investment activity. So tell me one thing, guys. Which inflow would you prefer the most? Operating. You would want that your cash flow should be more and more contributed by the operating activity, because that is the healthy source of getting the money. If I get more and more money generated from the operating activity, guys, which means that my business is very, very healthy. So imagine a lot of cash inflow is happening by selling the assets. Don't you think it is an unhealthy way of generating the cash? Sometimes people sell off the assets because they are not having sufficient money to run the operations. So they dispose the assets so that they can generate some liquid money and they can circulate that around. So do you think that selling the assets of the business and generating the cash inflow is a healthy practice? No. So now we are segregating that. So in cash account or in bank account, we don't have that segregation. So here in the cash flow statement, we are segregating which money is coming from what source. So the investor has become cautious now. Oh, this particular company has got so much cash inflow because it has sold land or it has sold building or it has sold assets. Now the concern arises, why the company has sold so much assets? Is company not doing well? So like that, the indication is being given by the cash flow statement. So now are you able to understand why are we analyzing cash flow? Is cash flow.
Yes, sir.
Flow of the cash in the organization. How important is the flow of blood or oxygen is in our body? That much important is the proper flow of cash within the organization. If the cash flow is not happening properly, if the rotation of the cash is not happening on timely basis, the company can get screwed. The business operations can get screwed. So it is very important to plan your inflows and outflows. Are you able to understand the objective of why we study cash flow now? Gradually, there's a lot of points to discuss. I'm just giving an outer line. So cash flow is a statement that shows cash inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalents during the accounting period from operational activity, investing activity, and finance activity. Obviously, guys, you will not have that much idea of all these categories. So we have to gradually understand all the three segments one by one. We'll be doing a lot of questions based on this, that this transaction is belonging to whether operating activity or financing activity. So like that, we'll be doing a lot of questions. Before we head towards the practical questions, we'll be doing a lot of small questions to understand, okay, which particular business financial transaction belongs to which category. So once you understand the categorization now, then it will be very smooth for us to do the practical problems. The main concern the student face here is that there is a format that has been given. People try to by heart the format and try to by heart that, okay, this transaction means operational activity, this means finance. If you by heart, you're screwed. So we need to digest each and every concept conceptually, that when you read a transaction, you would know by heart or by mind that, okay, this is what it is. So you need to feed all that gradually. Now, transactions that increase cash and cash equivalents are inflows of cash and cash equivalents, and transactions that decrease it are outflow of cash and cash equivalents. Okay, no big rocket science. I'll come back to this little later. Now, this cash flow statement, guys, you cannot prepare the way you want to prepare. The entire accounting, what we have done, whether it is journal, ledger, trial balance, financial statement, everything, there is a proper format that is prescribed by different organizations. Right now, for example, when we prepared the financial statement for a company, the format of the financial statement, that is statement of P&L balance sheet, was prescribed by whom? Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013. Correct? So like that, here also, there is a format that is being prescribed by Accounting Standard 3. And Accounting Standard 3 is a standard that is being issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Cash flow statement is prepared in accordance with Accounting Standard 3. Revised means earlier the standard used to say something else. Then based on our current scenario, this standard was revised. So cash flow statement is prepared in accordance to Accounting Standard 3 cash flow statement, which is being issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. The accounting standard prescribes the cash flow statement can be either prepared in the direct method or the indirect method. There are two ways of preparing this cash flow statement. One is direct method, second is indirect method. Direct method is out of the syllabus, guys. It is not there in your syllabus. Indirect method is what we're going to study first. Are we clear with this? You can get a MCQ question that cash flow statement is being prepared in accordance with Accounting Standard 2, 3, 4, 5. What will be the answer? 3. So please take a highlighter and highlight this point. Very, very important. So the accounting standard prescribed the cash flow statement may be prepared by direct method or by indirect method, showing the cash flow under 3 heads, namely cash flow from operating activity. When I say cash flow from operating activity, means not only inflow. Cash flow means both in and out. When we talk about flow, it is both in and out. You can switch on the light. Cash flow from investment activity, cash flow from financing activity. So these are the 3 things we are going to understand. Cash flow statement by indirect method is prepared from the financial statement. What is the base document for you to prepare the cash flow statement? The base document is financial statement, that is balance sheet and statement of P&L. Using these 2 documents, you're going to prepare your cash flow statement. So please take a highlighter and highlight this part. Because direct method, the source document is different. The source document for the direct method is different, and the source document for the indirect method is different. The source document for the indirect method is balance sheet and the statement of P&L, the financial statements. Are we clear up to this point? Sorry? For direct method is from the cash book. Yes. But indirect method is what we're going to study. Objectives of cash flow statement. The objective of cash flow statement are to determine the source, that is, guys, listen. Guys, listen. What is the objective of cash flow statement? They have given 3 pointers. to determine the source of cash and cash equivalents, whether the money is coming from operating source, whether the money is coming from the investing source, or whether the money is coming from the finance source. I give you a comparison of this. Money coming from the operational activity is much healthier than the money coming from the investment activity. So as an investor, as a banker, as an owner, I want to know from which source the money has come more. So first thing is to know the source of the receipt of cash and cash equivalents. Second is to determine the applications. So whatever money is flown inside the business, it has been applied where? Did I apply for the core business activity? Or instead of giving it as a core business activity, the investor has given his money to somebody. For example, I'm a banker. So banker has given loan to the company. Company said that the company would invest this money in the operational activity. But instead of that, they gave, let's suppose, loan to their family members. So you will categorize that into investing activity. So now I will know that you said that the money will be applied towards the operational activity, but you ended up giving all that in the investment activity. So that is why it is very important for us to segregate from which source it is coming, from which segment, and to which source is going which segment. Are we clear with the first two objectives? Application. Application means whatever money is coming inside, where are you applying? Whether the money is going for the operational activity, whether the money is going for investment activity, whether the money is going for finance activity. So what is operation activity, finance activity, and investment activity? We'll understand, because the total agenda of today is to understand these three activities. Once you understand these three activities, things will start getting more simpler. Third is to determine the net change in the cash and cash equivalents. It is the difference between the source and application under the operating activity, investment activity, and the finance activity between the dates of two balance sheet. So basically what happens is that opening balance of cash and cash equivalent is there. Closing balance of cash and cash equivalent is there. The difference between the two is the money that came in and went out. In beginning, I had 100 rupees. Now I have 350 rupees. In beginning, I had 100 rupees as cash and cash equivalents. Now it has gone to 350. So what is the difference, net change? Can I say plus 250? Now this 250 can be 500 inflow and 250 outflow. So net inflow is 250. So we are going to understand the net change. We are going to calculate this part. Are you able to follow? So when you start doing the practical aspect, you will understand this third point in a much better way. Now, guys, if you look at, they've given multiple theories. What is the importance of using the cash flow? What is limitations and all? I would not do this now. I believe that this theory is something which you should read after you do the entire chapter, because by then you would have understood what is what. So then you'll be able to apply all these theory points and you'll be able to relate to what they're trying to say. Now, since you don't have any idea about what is cash flow, even if I read, it will be just a plain reading, nothing will get into your head. So I'm just skipping the theory part and moving to the main concept. Now, there are certain important keys, that you need to understand, because these are the terms. Only if you know what it is, you'll be able to do the entire chapter. First one is cash. Cash comprises of cash in hand and demand deposit with bank. Cash means hard cash. All of you know money, 2000 notes, 500 notes, which got introduced after getting, old notes banned. That is cash. Yes. How can you forget that? So that is cash in hand, and demand deposit with bank. Demand deposit means what? I deposit money in bank. Let's suppose you have deposited your money in savings bank account or current account. Whenever you go to bank and withdraw the money, can I say banker will give you the money? Or by online, you can make the payment to multiple places by net banking or GPay or PhonePe or whatever option is. You can pay, which means that money is not in your control, but it is there with the bank. But on your request, on your demand, things can move as per your wish. So demand deposit with bank. So if any money is there with the banker, which can be, utilized by you on your demand, then that will be treated as cash. Are we clear with this point? What is cash equivalence? Equivalence, something equivalent to cash. All of you understand what is the meaning of equivalent? Something like cash. It is not cash, but it's something whose value is equal to cash. Cash equivalents or short-term are short-term, highly liquid investment that are readily convertible into the known amount of cash, which are subject to insignificant risk of change in value. An investment normally qualifies as cash equivalent only when it has short maturity of say 3 months or less from the date of acquisition. Now this means that I'll give an example. You are depositing, let's suppose 3 lakh rupees for a period of 3 months. 3 months, which means that after 3 months, this money will come back to you. This is treated as cash equivalence. Whatever money is there, you have deposited with the bank or you have given somewhere outside, and that money, what is gone out, is going to come back to you within 3 months. Cash equivalents are short term. Short term means we have here the period that has been specified by the accounting standard is 3 months. If any money that is going out is coming back to you after 3 months, then we will treat it as cash equivalents. We will not treat that as investment. Cash equivalents are short term, highly liquid investment. Highly liquid means what? Anything which I can convert into cash easily. So within 3 months, if there is any investment that you've made which can be converted into cash within 3 months, then we'll call it as highly liquid. Otherwise, when we studied the financial statement chapter, we said that if you're able to convert any asset into cash within 12 months, it is current asset. So there is liquid asset. Highly liquid means what? Now in that we are shortlisting those assets which can convert into cash within 3 months of investing. That is highly liquid. Then sir, what will happen to those investment which is getting converted into cash after 3 months? Then we will not treat that as cash equivalents. We will treat them as investments. So if any investment made, I can convert into cash within 3 months, then it is cash equivalents. If I'm not able to convert within 3 months, or if I'm converting beyond 3 months, then it becomes my investment. Cash equivalents are short-term, highly liquid investment that are readily convertible into the known amount of cash, which are subject to insignificant risk. Now, this money, whatever you put, it should not change its value. Like for example, I invested 3 lakh. Within 3 months, if there is a potential of that investment getting lost, for example, share market, I've invested 3 lakh rupees for a period of 3 months. So definitely it is a cash equivalent. But the problem is that stock market is highly risky. The value what you put can come down. It is subject to risk, significant risk. So if you're investing in stock market, then this 3 lakh rupees, I would, even though it is liquidatable within 3 months, I will take it as investments because this can significantly change the value. So I want those investments which will not change its value. Fixed deposit, I put it for 3 months. Is there any risk in fixed deposit? In fact, I'll get more than what I invested because I get interest along with it. So there is no risk associated. But if you're investing in any place where the risk is high, then that we will exclude. An investment normally qualifies as cash and cash equivalents only if there's short-term maturity of 3 months. So highlight this point, 3 months is very, very important. From the date you are acquiring that investment or from the date of investing, you calculate 3 months. Within 3 months, if you are able to convert into cash, it is cash equivalent. Current investments, unless specified otherwise, are taken as marketable securities and are included in the cash and cash equivalents. Now, in the question, current investment is given. Now, they have not mentioned anything, whether it is going to come to you within 3 months or beyond 3 months. Nothing is specified. So if nothing is specified, guys, current investment will be always classified as marketable securities, and marketable securities are always cash equivalents. See, cash in hand, cash in bank. These both I told you are cash. And these are cash equivalents. Checks, all of you. Check in hand is an asset. So it is a cash equivalent. Draft, demand draft, DD. Have you heard of this DD? In the recent times, the importance of DD has come down. In those days, before we had net banking, so DD was very much prevalent. So for example, when I did my CA in 2010, so if I had to make payment to the ICI, so I had to go to bank, prepare a DD and send it. Now we have the facility of online portal, net banking, GPay and all. So now the things are different. But in those days, we used to use DD a lot. So if you have any demand draft on hand, any short-term investments such as marketable securities means those investment which can convert into cash within 3 months. Share market, if you've issued in share market, if it is convertible into cash within 3 months. So I told you a point that share market is very risky. So this point is actually very immaterial. So here when we do the cash flow, even though I put 3 lakh rupees in share market, because whenever I want, I can sell the asset and get the money back because it is in my control. Buying and selling is in my hand. With a click of a button, I can buy. With a click of a button, I can sell it. So it is equivalent to cash. So those are called as marketable securities. Securities means what? Shares, debentures, bonds, all these are called as securities. The definition of security is very big. Now, example of cash equivalents are current investment. Now, cash equivalents, what all come under cash equivalents? What more can come under cash equivalents is current investment. Current investment, which are marketable securities, which can be realized within 3 months. Treasury bill, commercial papers. These are also different kinds of securities. Treasury bill, if you can invest money in treasury bill, either you will get interest or you will get money more than. So sometimes there are some investment where you will not get interest on it. You put 100 rupees, you get 120 rupees on the maturity. That is not interest. Or 100 rupees worth is the bond, you put 80 rupees, but later you get 100 rupees. So there are a lot of different kinds of bonds that you will study in the higher professional courses. So current investments, treasury bill, commercial papers, preference share, if these are redeemable within 3 months from the date of purchase, these are called as cash equivalents. Correct? So basically, sir, what all is coming in cash and cash equivalents? Cash in hand is a cash equivalent. Cash in bank is a cash. Checks in hand, draft in hand is a cash equivalent. Short-term investments, which are marketable, which are disposable or realizable within 3 months, which otherwise is called as marketable securities, are cash equivalents. Short-term deposits with bank, which I can convert into deposits, can be converted to cash within 3 months, is called as cash equivalents. So all these put together, total of all this is cash and cash equivalents. Commercial paper is kind of a document where you invest money, on that you get some return. So all these are different forms of investment. Commercial paper is an investment mechanism. Treasury bill is an investment mechanism. You can invest in treasury bill, US treasury bill. You have Indian commercial papers. So you invest in it, you get something in return. So those are the investments. So all these are the investment categories or the types of different investments. Now, cash flow. Cash flows are inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalents. Cash flow excludes the movement between items that constitute cash or cash equivalent because they are a part of cash management. What this point is trying to tell is that you had cash in hand 100 rupees. You deposited that in bank 100 rupees. Do you consider this as inflow of money? It is basically, I had 100 rupees in my right pocket. I took that and shifted in my left pocket. Does that mean that I've earned 100 rupees? Does that mean that there's an inflow of 100 rupees? No. It is my money which is going from one head to another head. So like that, in short-term investment, let's suppose 3 lakh rupees I invested. I got that, I sold it and I got that money as cash. So which means my short-term investment will go down and cash in hand will go up. So this is transferring of money from one pocket to another pocket. Yes, these are all the different pockets. There's a pant which has got multiple pockets, too many pockets, cargo pant we say. Many pockets you have, left pocket, right pocket, center pocket, top pocket, up pocket, bottom pocket. So all these are one pockets of the cargo pant. Cash in hand is one pocket. This is one pocket. This is one pocket. This is one pocket. This is one pocket. So moving money from one pocket to another pocket, does that constitute cash inflow? No. This is what they're trying to tell. Cash flow. See, here we are trying to understand what is the inflow of money, from where money is coming in. So money coming in from investment, short-term investment, is not qualifying as cash inflow to be captured in the statement. You getting my point? So here, when I talk about cash flow, I want inflow and outflow from different sources, excluding these. Cash flow excludes the movement between items that constitute cash or cash equivalent because they are part of cash management of the enterprise rather than the operating, investing, and the financing activity. Example, cash withdrawn from the bank for the business. Cash withdrawn from the bank for the business. Bank balance will go down and cash balance will go up. Pocket in, money from one pocket is going down, other pocket is going up. So this does not constitute inflow. Cash deposited into bank out of cash in hand. Cash in hand is going down. Cash in bank is going up. So it is one pocket going down, another pocket going up. This is not cash inflow. Sale and purchase of short-term marketable securities being cash equivalent. When you sell or purchase, the short-term investments will go up and down. Cash in hand will go up and down. So this does not constitute cash flow. Are we clear with this point? Next is operating activity, investment activity, and financing activity. Now this I will deal one by one. So guys, your business activity is categorized into two activities: operational activity and non-operational activity. Guys, listen to me very carefully. your business activity is categorized into two parts. One is operational activity, second is non-operational activity. Core business, non-core business. This non-operational activity is further classified or sub-classified into two categories: investment activity and finance activity. So we are going to study number one, what is operational activity. We're going to study number two, what is investment activity. We're going to study number three, what is finance activity. Now, what is operating activity? Operating activities are the principal revenue producing activities of the enterprise. Principal revenue producing activity means if I'm into the business of buying and selling laptops, so money that is generated or inflow of money or outflow of the money by buying and selling laptops is the revenue producing activity. Operating activities are the principal revenue producing activities of the enterprise and other activities that are not investing in finance activities. What is principal revenue producing activities? Principal revenue producing activity means business activities being carried by the enterprise to earn the profit. For the main purpose for which you formed the business, the main purpose for which you started the business, from that sources, if the money is coming in, then it is called as cash inflow or outflow from or to the operational activities. For example, for a computer manufacturing company, manufacturing and selling of computers is a principal revenue producing activity. So when I manufacture, I need to spend money. So cash outflow is happening. So cash outflow is of operational activity. When I sell this computer, money is coming in, cash inflow from the operational activity. For a trading company, purchase and sale of goods is the principal revenue producing activity. For a finance company, we all know what is a finance company. Financing. The main purpose is to lend money or invest money. So for them, giving and taking the loan, purchase and sale of securities on your own behalf is the principal revenue producing activities. Now, examples of cash flow from operating activities for a non-financial company. What is a non-financial company? A company which does not do the financing activity, whose business is to buy and sell goods, trading of goods, giving of services. That is called as a non-financial companies. You need to be very clear with these terms, because if you're not clear with this, the upcoming illustrations you'll find it difficult to solve. No, so now we are a non-finance company. For example, I'm in the business of buying and selling laptops, or I'm in the business of providing coaching classes. So for me, cash received from sale of goods or rendering of service is the operational activity. So for me, the money which is coming in from this activity is the operational activity. So this is my operational activity. Cash received from royalty. You understand what is royalty? What is royalty? No.
Extra money paid due to the brand value.
Okay, I'll give an example. Let's suppose I'm an author. I've authored one book. I know to write the books. I don't know to publish the books. I don't know to market the books. I don't know to sell the books. So once I author a book, I will approach a publication company. The publication company will, print the books and they'll do the selling. So let's suppose the book is being sold for 2,000 rupees. So out of this 2,000 rupees, the company, that is the publication company, will keep some money for themselves. Let's suppose 1,500 rupees, because they are doing the printing expenditure, they are doing the marketing, they're taking all the efforts. So they will keep one part of it. This will have their cost, profit, everything. And another part, 500 rupees, they will give to the author as royalty for each copy that is being sold. So let's suppose the royalty that is agreed between me and my publication company is that 500 rupees per book. So as and when the book is being sold, okay, at the end of the month or as per the agreed period, the publication company is supposed to give me the royalty. Now clear? What is royalty? Now same thing. For example, now I'm a music director. I'm a music creator. Okay, what is that? Music composer? No, composer. So I know to compose the music, but there is a different company who will do the marketing or probably putting it in movie, because if I have to put it in the movie, I need to have that much context. So I am just a creator of the song or composer of the song. I don't have context with the film industry. So I approach one person and tell that if you can sell or put this song in that movie, whatever the commercials we can agree. So I made a song which we are agreeing it for 2 crore rupees. So this composer gives the rights to the music industry like T Series. T Series is there. No? So T Series will, go and put it in their own movies or some other movies. So let's suppose they're making DVDs. In olden days, we used to have cassettes and CDs and all. So this composer who's, composed this song, upon selling of each DVD, upon selling of each cassette, he used to get royalty. Let's suppose 100 rupees per DVD or 50 rupees per cassette as a royalty used to get. It's, you can say, a part of a commission or profit, that because it's your product now. It's your product which has been marketed by somebody else. So he's also making money, you're also making money. So when this composers or with this publication people sell the products now, so it is the publication company that is getting the money. And from the publication company, I'm getting the royalty. Now clear? Copyright is when, for example, the music what I've composed or the book what I've authored, if I don't want somebody else to copy it, I take a copyright. Which means if anybody is creating the same content like me, he cannot do that. I can legally file suit against him. So copyright is a different thing. Royalty is income. From copyright, you will not generate any income. Copyright is an expenditure. Royalty is an income. Yes. Correct. So the person who's singing it, he's a singer. Composer will be different. So A.R. Rahman is the composer of the music. It has been sung by somebody else. Now the person who's singing it, if he claims that no, this is my song, then what will A.R. Rahman do? So A.R. Rahman will take a copyright of that song. He's allowing that person to sing. So whatever the proceeds are coming, from that, the main thing will go to the composer. So composer owns it. That is copyright. So copyright is an expenditure, outflow. Royalty is the inflow. You getting my point? Kind of. No, this is not a main topic. Cash received from royalty, fees, and commission. I'm a let's say author. So what is my source of income? Royalty is my source of income. So that is my main operation. Fees or commission. I'm running tuition service. So tuition fee is my main operational activity. Cash received from trade receivable. Debtors and bills receivable are paying me the money. So this I would classify it as operational activity. Cash payment for purchase of goods and availing services. I've made the purchase of raw materials, traded goods. I'm giving service. I'm giving fee to my chartered accountant, for doing this, whatever service he's doing for me. I'm giving fee to the lawyer. So all these are operational activity. That is for the main business. Cash payment made to the creditors and bills payable. Cash payment to the wages who are working in my factory, the employees who are working in my office, and other payments to employee. Cash receipt of premium and payment of challan for insurance company. Insurance company is a non-finance company. All of you know that. Insurance business is not in lending business. No? So the insurance company's source of income is what? Premium. So premium is main income for them. That is from the operational activity. Cash payment of and refund of income tax. So whatever taxes you have paid, extra if you have paid, so income tax will refund that. So that is from the core business activity. So all these are operational activity. That was for a non-finance company. Now for a finance company. Finance company means what? The company whose business is to lend or invest. If I'm lending money to you, what will you give me in return? Interest. So interest is what? Interest is my core business activity. Understand one thing. I'm a non-finance company. Okay. Non-finance company. I gave 3 lakh rupees as loan to one person called as X. So this 3 lakh is cash outflow. Guys, I'm a non-finance company. Let's suppose I'm running an academy. Somebody asked me for help and I gave 3 lakh rupees as loan. Now this 3 lakh rupees, is it my core business activity? Am I in the business of lending? So then if not, then what will I term this 3 lakh as? It is my investment activity. This 3 lakh I have invested. Giving loan to you is I've invested. In return, I'm earning interest. Now, if the finance company is giving 3 lakh, now this 3 lakh is from the core business activity. So this is my operational activity. So this outflow will come under operational activity for a financing company. And same thing for a non-finance company, it is a part of the investment activity. Now on this, I'm earning interest. Interest on loan or interest on investment. For a non-finance company, this interest is a finance activity. So investment activity. Because this is an investment part of it. This is not my core business activity. On the contrary, for a finance company, On this loan advanced, on the loan advanced, on this, if any interest is earned, first this interest is my core business income. So this is my operational activity. So in exam, you should be very clear. If the question they're asking, payment of interest on loan, you should be very clear whether it is a finance company or non-finance company. If it is a finance company, then payment for interest on loan is an operating activity. Ana, if it is a non-finance company, then either it will be investing or financing activity. So you have to be very clear. It will be financing. Are we clear with this point? So now guys, from the finance company point of view, now why are we learning all this is because all these statements will be given in the practical question. And you will take, so against this for payment of securities, let's suppose 3 lakh rupees. Now you have to take this 3 lakh rupees and put either in the operational activity bucket or investment activity bucket or finance activity bucket. Only then you'll be able to do the sum. So understanding of which transaction is belonging to what activity is very important. If you're not having a clear thought on it, if you mix and put the activity, then your entire question will go for wrong. And in this, guys, if the beginning is wrong, the entire chain will be wrong. So you cannot make mistake right from the beginning. You have to be very clear what is what and what is what not. So payment for purchase of security. Securities means what? In short, I told you shares, debentures, bonds, all these are securities. I've made the payment for it. Payment for interest on loan. My business activity is only lending. My business activity is investing. Receipt from sale of securities. I'm selling the securities, shares. Against it, I'm getting the money. That is my
operating activity.
Dividend receipt on securities. I've invested in your company and you're giving me dividend in return. That is my main operational activity. My main business is financing your company. So that is my operational activity. Interest received on loan, payment of salaries, bonus to employees, payment and refund of income tax. All these are cash flow from operating activity. When I say cash flow, means both inflow and outflow. Depending on the nature of transaction, you need to understand what is inflow and outflow. Are we clear with this point? Let's do illustration 1. Identify which of the following transactions are classified as operating activity by a non-finance company. Non-finance company means what? Which is dealing with goods and services and not with lending money. Cash received from sale of goods. Cash received from sale of goods. Operating activity. Because main operation is buying and selling goods. Cash paid for the purchase of goods. Operating activity. Payment of salary and wages. Whom will I make the payment? To my staff now. What is my staff doing? Working for my business. That is core business activity. So this is my operational activity. Cash flow of operational activity. Payment of interest on loan.
On operating activity.
In loan we have taken. So which is a finance activity. Financing means what? Raising funds. I'm arranging for the finance of my business. How do I arrange for my finance? Capital or debt? So I've taken debt. So it is financing activity. So interest I pay on that is also financing activity. Clear, no? I'll be discussing what is finance and investment in short of time, but just I'm trying to give an outer line. Repayment of loan. Loan is financing. So when I get loan, cash inflow of financing activity. When I repay, it is cash outflow of the financing activity. So it is finance activity. Purchase of machinery against payment. I'm buying machinery. Can I say I'm investing in machinery? I'm buying machinery. It is as good as investing in machinery. So it is an investment activity. Cash outflow of the investment activity. Dividend paid. Dividend I pay to whom?
Shareholders.
Shareholders kit in the what did I do? I raised money in form of capital. I had financed, my business has been financed by the shareholder. So if share capital is financing activity, the dividend what I pay is also financing activity. Sale of car. Car I invested. So when I purchased a car, that is cash outflow of the investment activity. Now I sold it. By selling the asset, I'm getting the money back. My investment is being sold. So it is the cash inflow from the investment activity. Commission receipt. If nothing is mentioned, my main business is commission. So it is operating activity. Cash received from trade receivable. Debtor is a part of the main business. Operating activity. Finding any difficulty? So how many operating activities is marked? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct?
Sir,
Yes, boss.
sir, one small doubt, sir. Sir, cash paid for purchase of goods, sir. Goods in padala machinery pota the investment, sir.
Correct. Goods is for, goods is bought with the intention to sell. It is my main business activity. So that is my operation. Whereas machinery, so I'll be discussing what is investment in finance with you. So it is said that if I'm buying any asset, that is treated as investment.
Okay, sir.
Now clear?
Yes, sir.
You can say, sir, bank charges is a type of commission to a bank. So cash received from commission can be a part of operating activity or for finance company. Bank charges, bank charges you need to segregate. Now, why do bank charge? For example, if I do a NEFT transaction, if I do a NEFT or RTGS transaction, or if I do IMPS, bankers charge. So that payment is made for the operational activity. So then that bank charges will be for what? Operational activity. Now, if there is any bank charges in relation to financing activity or investment activity, then that bank charges will go to that respective category. If nothing is mentioned, bank charges is always the operational category. I'll give you a break, don't worry. Illustration number 2, guys. Identify which of the following transactions are classified or shown as operating activity by a financial company. Payment of salary and wages. Operating activity. Payment of interest on loan. We have taken loan. Why did I take loan? I wanted to reinvest it. For my business is banker, what they do? We invest in bank as fixed deposit. Let's suppose banker is giving me 5%. And this money banker is giving to some other person as a loan for 10%. So difference of 5% they are earning now. Bank is into lending business. They get money from us and give it to the customers. So difference amount is 5% is their income. So core business activity, na boss. So obviously the loan here what they have taken is for the core business activity. So this is also your operation activity. They should mention for that. If nothing is mentioned for a finance activity, it is always loan taken is considered as the operational activity. Salary and wages. When we say salary and wages, the predominant function is salary. You've studied in 11th standard. Yeah, salary and wages, when it is given, whatever the first is given, that is taken as predominantary role and that accordingly classified. Wages we don't pay for the finance business because we don't do any math. Yeah. You will not get wages at all in the finance company. It's just they are given in the flow. One at a time. Okay, wait. I'll give a time to all of you to ask. Now let me complete this. My flow is getting big. 1 second. Receipt of interest on loan given. Receipt on interest on loan given. What is it? Operating activity. Purchase of shares for trading. Purchase of shares for trading. My business itself is financing. Trading is financing activity. I buy today 10 shares and sell it tomorrow when the price increases. So my main business is trading. So it is operational activity. Purchase of shares is investment. See, understand the difference between the two. When I purchase the shares for trading, I buy today with the intention to sell within 3 months. Sorry, forget the 3-month concept. Intention is short term. So here this is operating activity. But purchase of share as investment. Investment means what? My intention is to hold it for a long time. Investment, so investment activity. Purchase of shares on behalf of customer. If I am buying shares for myself, then this is my operating activity. But this on behalf of customers, then it's not operating activity. It's not an operating activity because my business is not that. But yes, if I buy the shares for my customer, and for that if I'm charging any commission, then it is operating. Sale of shares on behalf of customer. It's not in my operating activity. It's financing. Issue of debenture. I'm issued debenture. I financed. Debenture. I've raised capital. Now you are telling that, sir, then why is payment of interest on loan is operating? You're getting confused? Financing. See, I'm a financing company. I want to raise finance. So even finance company needs money now. So if I'm raising the money by way of shares, debentures or loan, all this is my finance activity. We'll do one thing. When we come to the main, this operating and finance, let's complete this three part. Make a note of your point. If you have any doubts, I'll clarify them. Issue of debenture being a borrowing is a finance activity. Now, let's take a break of 5 minutes and then we'll come back and continue with the two activities. So my target is to complete the investment and finance activity today. All right, guys. Now let's continue with the next concept, and which being investing activities. Guys, listen. Investing activities are the acquisition and the disposal of long-term assets and other investment, and does not include cash equivalent. Guys, very, very important. Please listen to me very carefully. Now, these activities include transaction involving purchase and sale of long-term assets which are not held for resale. I buy plant and machinery. Do I buy with the intention that I'll sell it in the next day or probably after 5 days? No, the intention is to use it for a long time. The intention is to use for the business, which means I'm investing in it. So whether I buy the asset or sell the asset, whatever the cash inflow and outflow is happening, that is belonging to the investing activities. Whether it is plant and machinery, land building, investment, whatever it is. Investment include investments that are not included in the cash and cash equivalent, such as current investment other than marketable securities. Now, what is this? Investment include investments that are not included in cash and cash equivalent. Now, tell me this. So, investment will have two things, which I have it as a marketable security investment, which means I will hold not more than 3 months. Current investment will have two things: marketable securities other than marketable securities. Marketable securities means that is something which I can sell within 3 months. This is a part of my cash and cash equivalent. Whereas other than marketable securities, which are current in nature, which means I've acquired it for a period of less than 12 months, which means within 12 months I can sell it. Then these are my investing activities. For example, I put fixed deposit for 6 months. Definitely money is going to come back to me after 3 months. So 100% is not marketable security. So therefore, what is this? Investment. I've invested in fixed deposit. So if I've invested in fixed deposit for a 6-month period, then this is investment activity. Investment includes investment made in long-term investments and other investments by the enterprise with the purpose of generating the income. See now, investment, 2 categories: non-current asset, current asset, which means long-term investments. So long-term investments, which means the money is going to, that is asset is going to get converted to cash after 12 months of the balance sheet date. So 100%, this is my investment activity. Now your current asset, which is your short-term investments, 2 bifurcation. Those investments which are going to be matured within 3 months are called as marketable securities. These are cash equivalents. If I have any investment where the maturity is beyond 3 months, but less than 12 months, those will be categorized, like that is beyond 3 months and within 12 months. Then this will be your investment activity. So whether it is long term, that is beyond 12 months, or whether it is short term, above 3 months and less than 12 months, is my investment activity. Now clear, not clear? Okay. One more time. You understand what is long-term investment, Brinda? Long-term investment, I invested the money today and I'll get this money after 12 months of the balance sheet date. Now this year's balance sheet date is 31st March 2022. From that, I'll calculate 12 months. After 12 months, money is going to come. So definitely it is more than 12 months of the balance sheet date. So it is non-current asset, long-term investment. So this money, let's suppose 3 lakh I invested. What is this? Investment activity, because I invested. It is an investment. I invested in, let's suppose, fixed deposit for a period of 5 years. So long-term investment. So 100% this is an investment activity. Here you will not have any confusions. The confusion happens in the current asset, that is short-term investments. So here you will break into 2 parts. If I invested in the fixed deposit for a period of 3 months, so we understood that within 3 months, I can convert my asset into cash. So this becomes my marketable securities. Therefore, it is a part of my cash equivalent. You studied in the beginning, no, what is cash and cash equivalent? I told you, if any investments I can convert into cash within 3 months of investment, it is marketable security, and marketable securities is a part of cash equivalent. Guys, every point which I'm telling right from the beginning and what I'm going to tell now is important. If you miss out anything now, you cannot have that connecting dots. Only if you have those connecting dots, at the end, you'll get the complete picture. If you miss out on any dots now, the shape will be totally haywire. You know what is marketable securities? Yeah. Now, I've invested, let's suppose, in a fixed deposit for a period of 6 months, which means what? It is short term, but money is going to come not within 3 months, but beyond 3 months. So that is my investment activity. If money is going to come to you within 3 months, cash equivalent. If the money is going to come to you beyond 3 months and within 12 months, it is an investment activity. Now clear? Example of cash flow from investment activities. Payment for purchase of fixed asset. Fixed asset, what do I invest? Like what do I buy it for? For the purpose of using it. So I'm using in the business. So I've invested in the business. So payment of purchase, including intangible, tangible and intangible, all the assets are by default investment activity. Receipt from sale or disposal of the fixed asset. Cash inflow from investment activity. When the purchase is investment activity, the sale also will be investment activity. Payment for purchase or there is acquisition of securities. That is, securities means what? Share warrant, debentures, bonds, share capital, preference share capital, instrument, whatever name you say, which means what? I'm investing in those securities. So investment activity. And if I sell those securities and whatever money I generate, cash inflow, that is also investment activity. Are we clear? Okay, this is of a finance company or a non-finance company. Whatever I'm discussing is a non-finance company. For finance company, these two will become operational nature. Advance and loan. That is loans and advances made to third party. I've given loan to somebody. Is my main business to give money to somebody? No. I'm into the business of buying and selling laptop. So the loan what I've given, the loan what I've advanced to you, on that the interest what I'm earning is my investment activity. It's like I've invested the money to you. You are giving me in return money. So it is investment activity. Loan advance loan. Understand one thing, guys. If loan alone is given, or if the word loan taken is given, it means it is liability. Whether it is loan or loan taken, liability. Loan advanced or advanced loan means we are giving it asset because this money is going to come back to me. It is my money. This is going to come back to me. So loans advanced is asset, loan or loan taken is liability. Are we clear with this point? Now, whatever advances you made, from that the money is coming back. So if the money what I advanced is investment activity, then money what I'm getting back is the investment activity. The only difference is this is outflow, this is inflow. This is outflow, this is inflow. This is outflow and this is inflow. But all belonging to investment activity. Illustration 4. Identify out of the following transactions that are classified or shown as investing activity for a non-finance company first and then for a finance company. So now for a non-finance company, cash proceeds from sale of fixed asset. Investment activity. For a finance company, so non-finance company. Cash paid for the purchase of stock in trade. Cash paid for the purchase of stock in trade. How finance? Stock in trade. Stock in trade means what? Goods which you purchased with the intention to sell. So it is cash outflow of operating activity. Cash paid for the purchase of stock in trade. Any doubts? All of you know.
Can I understand that point, sir?
Cash paid for purchase stock in trade. What is stock in trade? You buy something with the intention to resell.
Yes, sir.
I buy with for reselling. So let's suppose stock in trade example is laptop. So laptop would a closing stock value. That is the purchase value of laptop. So this is a cash outflow happening. So where will you categorize this cash outflow? Will I put it in investment activity? No. Will I put it in the finance activity? No. So it is my main operation. No. Buying and selling laptop is main operation. So purchase of laptop, sale of laptop is an operational activity for a non-finance company. Now clear, Sanjay?
Yes, sir. This is Krishna, sir.
Okay, Krishna. Now clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, repayment of loan taken for a non-finance company. Repayment of loan taken. Loan taken, cash inflow. Loan taken, I financed myself. Repayment. Financing means what? I'm raising the capital. I'm raising the funds, not capital. Funds can be raised in two ways: capital and debt. So loan, repayment of loan taken. Taking loan. You're taking loan. Inflow of cash is the finance activity. Repayment is also finance activity, which is the outflow of cash. Debenture purchase.
Investment activity.
Debenture purchase, you've not issued it. Debenture issued is raising the funds. Debenture purchase is you invested it. So investment activity. Clear? So guys, look at just one word can make a difference. Debenture issued, debenture purchase. The word issued and purchase can make a huge difference. If you're not clear with this, you'll not be able to differentiate it. If your differentiation goes wrong, your entire cash flow sum will go wrong. Loan advanced. I've given loan, investment. I'm giving loan. I'm investing elsewhere. Somebody's in need of money. I'm giving loan. Okay. In return, he's giving me interest. I'm earning it. So loan advanced is investing. I'm investing. Investing, giving loan is also investment. If I lend money to somebody, no, that is investment only for a non-finance company. For a non-finance company. Investment activity. Purchase of patent.
Investment.
A patent is what? Intangible asset. So it is asset which I'm going to use now. So it is investment. So investment activity. So how many investment activity? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 investment activities. Now for a finance company. Cash proceeds for sale of fixed asset. Cash proceeds from sale of
Investing
fixed asset.
activity.
See, as a finance company, let's suppose I want to buy any asset, for example, car. I'm using that car exclusively for my business. Investment now. So assets, whatever I put. For example, let's suppose I want to buy a projector for my office. I'm a finance company. So whatever assets I invest for them also. So whether it is in finance company or a non-finance company, investing in asset is always investing. So investing activity. Okay. Tell me if I'm in the business of buying and selling laptop, and I'm buying, let's suppose, a 65-inch TV for my customers. How is it then related to my core business activity? Same application now. Investment ही होगा ना. You've invested. Okay. If you're coming from that point of view, whatever assets you buy, for example, plant and machinery using for the business now. So I will call it as operation. No. I've invested. Investment in something. The word itself is investment. Investment in fixed asset. Investment activity. Ultimately, a lot of things what we put in investment activity is also an operation ka part hi. But there is a specific category that investment, whatever money you invest in the fixed asset, accounting standard 3 says that this is a part of investment activity. So we have to segregate it. That's why I told in the beginning. You cannot apply your common sense here. The common sense is already applied by the set of chartered accountants who have created this format. We are just following that. We cannot argue why is what. If you keep on arguing, there's a lot of things I can value add that this is not right, that is not right. But unfortunately, we don't have that option. We have to, digest the format. Now, cash paid for the purchase of stock in trade. For a non-finance, for finance business, stock in trade will not come. So I'm just ruling this point out. Repayment of loan taken.
Operating activity.
Loan taken. Financing activity. Repayment is also financing activity. I'm in the business of lending money.
Sir?
So I also need money, no? 1 second, ma. I need money. So I'm raising, so I need capital. I need funds for my business, for me to lend you, for me to invest in your company. I need to raise money. So that money can be raised by way of capital or by way of debt. So loan is the finance. Through loan, I finance my business. So financing activity. Yes, Kana. Somebody called me online.
So point number 3, repayment of loan taken on the operating activity as a finance company.
Interest paid.
Okay.
This is the loan amount. So I'm financing it. You will have this confusion. Just bear with me. Once I start doing the sums, you'll start making, you'll get the understanding of what I'm trying to say.
Okay, sir.
Debenture purchased. Debenture purchased. Same rule. Investment activity. Purchase means I've invested. Invested activity. Loan advanced. Loan advanced by a finance company. Operational activity. Core business activity. Purchase of patent. Investment activity. So how many? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Debenture purchased. I've invested. Long-term investment. Here?
Sir,
Yes, Kana.
sir, ஒரே ஒரு doubt, sir. Repayment of loan வந்து pooling of fund for the financial company. That is why it has become a financial activity. Is that right, sir?
Loan, நம்ம loan எடுக்கிறோம். That is a finance activity. When loan taken is finance activity, the repayment of loan also will be categorized as finance activity. Now,
Okay, sir. Because it's a pooling of fund for the financing company.
it's not pooling of funds. The funds you're repaying it back. Whatever the funds you've raised, you're repaying it back.
Okay.
Guys,
Vice versa, sir. Pooling
Yeah.
seri, repayment to seri for the
taking the
activity of
loan
the
or
bank.
accumulating the loan is pooling of funds.
Okay.
Repayment is giving it back.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Financing activity. Now, before that, I've created this for you. Investment activity, two things: cash inflow, cash outflow. So how does cash inflow happen under investment activity? So cash inflow of fixed asset. Proceeds from sale of fixed asset. They'll give you the word. Proceeds from sale of land. Proceeds from sale of building. Proceeds from sale of machinery. Proceeds means what? Proceeds means cash coming in, amount coming in. So proceeds means cash inflow. People get confused with the word proceeds. Proceeds means money coming in. If money is coming inward towards the land by sale of land, that is my investment activity. Other assets. Other assets means what? Apart from fixed asset, I have other asset now. Long-term investments. Proceeds from sale of investments other than marketable securities, which is long-term, and short-term beyond 3 months, less than 12 months. That is shares, debentures, mutual funds, fixed deposit, your bonds, share warrants. All these are my investments. Loan advanced. Loan advanced, I get it back, is cash inflow. Loan advance is outflow. Loan advanced, receiving back, inflow. What are we doing? We're trying to understand in investment activity what could be inflow, what is outflow. Understand one thing. First of all, we need to categorize in our mind as to what is what activity. After that, you need to also understand if something is investing activity, whether it is inflow or outflow is also equally important to understand. So loan advance received is inflow, loan advanced is outflow. Interest received in relation to other assets. Interest received on this advance of loan. Dividend received on investment. Rent received on the property held as investment. I had a property, I gave it on rent. That's not my core business activity. So that is my investment, cash inflow from the investment activity. So what is a cash outflow? Cash outflow for the purchase of fixed assets such as land, building, machinery, software. I do outflow of cash for the purchase of investments other than marketable securities. In shares, debentures, mutual funds, and fixed deposits. So these are the cash inflow and outflow. I'll be sharing this document with you for the quick summary. Next is finance activity. Finance activities are the activities which result in the change in the size and the composition of owner's capital and the borrowing. To be more precise, guys, finance means financing activity is the source of raising the funds of the business. Funds can be raised in form of capital or in form of borrowing, that is debt. Example, proceeds. Proceeds means money coming in. Proceeds means cash inflow from the issue of shares or other similar instruments. I'm issuing share. I'm getting money. Why am I getting this money? I'm getting this money towards capital for funding the business. So it is my finance activity. So if any company does the issue of shares, issue of debentures, then money is coming inside the business. So it is the financing activity. Clear with this point? Proceeds from the issue of debenture. I've issued debt instruments such as debenture, loan, bond, short-term borrowings. From that, water money is coming. That is financing my business. Hence, it is a financing activity. Guys, you're distracted. Why? Listen here. Payment for the buyback of equity shares. What is buyback of equity shares? I've issued the shares. All of you are my shareholders. Now, from you, I'm buying back your equity. I'm paying the money and buying back the equity shares. So basically, you have heard this concept of redemption of preference share now. So preference shares and debentures can be redeemed. The word used is redeem. For equity shares, we don't use the word redemption. The word here is buyback. So buyback. So when equity share capital is a financing activity, then buyback is a part of financing activity. When giving money Oh, sorry, when getting the money, inflow is financing activity. When I repaid back, also financing activity. This is cash inflow, that is cash outflow. Repayment of the amount that is borrowed, including redemption of debenture, is my cash outflow of the financing activity. Because when the original debenture, when the original loan was finance activity, was then the repayment is also finance. Now, payment of dividend. Now you are all my shareholders. From you, I have raised the funds for my company. I'm paying you dividend. So that is my finance activity. Dividend does not come into picture without the issue of share capital. So dividend is my finance activity. Cash outflow of the finance activity. Payment of interest on debenture. Outflow of cash outflow of the finance activity. Increase or decrease in bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is a loan facility. So whether the loan amount increases or decreases, both are my finance activity. I've given the summary here, finance activity. So cash inflow from capital source and borrowing source. From capital, what? Proceeds from issue of equity share capital. Proceeds from issue of preference share capital. These are the two sources of cash inflow from capital. Now from borrowing, issue of debenture, issue of bond, issue of share warrant, whatever document, instrument, debt instrument. From that money is coming in. It's a cash inflow of the financing activity. Loan obtained, increase of OD and CC limit, all are cash inflow. Outflow, what? Whatever equity share capital I've issued, I'm repaying it back. That is payment on buyback of equity share capital is outflow. Siddharth, what happened? Payment on redemption of preference share. Redemption is cash outflow. Payment of dividend is cash outflow. Redemption of debenture is cash outflow. Repayment of loan is cash outflow. Payment of interest is cash outflow. Are we clear with this point? Identify out of the following transaction that are shown as financing activity. Repayment of loan taken. Repayment of a loan. No, here they have not mentioned whether this is a finance company or a non-finance company. So what will be the assumption? Always non-finance company. If nothing is mentioned, always non-finance company. So repayment of loan taken. Loan taken is finance activity. Repayment of that also is finance activity. Proceeds from, now wherever I have asked you to make assumptions, guys, I hope all of you are making a note of it. And this point should go to your concept note. Because there are a lot of assumptions during exam time, you will not be able to recollect everything. So if you make a note of it, you can do a quick recap of that. Proceeds from issue of shares. Why do I issue shares? Why do I issue shares? To raise money, finance, to raise finance, financing activity. Okay, tell me inflow and outflow also along with it. Repayment of loan is outflow. This is inflow. Debenture subscribed by the company. Debenture subscribed means I'm investing.
But it's not.
First, finance or investing. Tell me that. Debenture subscribed. I'm subscribing somebody else's debenture, which means I'm going to pay money. Outflow is correct, but invest or finance? Investing activity.
Investing activity.
Investing activity, and this is outflow of cash. Clear? Subscribing. I'm telling you that one word can make a difference. Debenture subscribe means you're investing. If you guys in these illustrations, let me tell you, you will not have time to go through all the illustrations before the exam. So what I do is normally if I'm in your place, in all these illustrations, whatever the tricky part is, I will highlight that. And the ones which I'm not highlighting, if I'm able to solve it today, then I'm sure I'll be able to solve it even 3 months later, because those are the easy ones. So if you find anything which is medium to high difficult level, highlight it at your level. Somebody may feel that, okay, even this point is slightly tricky. Okay, let me highlight this. Highlight it. But that doesn't mean that you'll highlight all the points. Redemption of preference share. Issuing preference shares, finance activity, because I'm raising capital. Redemption is also finance activity. Outflow or inflow? Outflow.
Outflow, sir.
Interest paid on borrowing. Interest paid on borrowing. Borrowing is what? Cash inflow from the financing activity. I'm paying interest. If borrowing is finance, then interest paid is also finance.
Yes,
So it is
finance activity, outflow, sir.
Dividend paid. Financing activity, outflow. Increase in bank overdraft. Increase in bank overdraft. Increase in bank overdraft. Loans. Funds. Bank overdraft is what? Banker is giving me the facility to take loan from the bank.
Sir.
So finance activity, inflow or outflow?
Inflow, sir.
Inflow. Banker is giving you, allowing
Yes,
you to
sir.
take money. You're utilizing it. Issue of bonus share.
This
Is it a flow of money?
no.
Your reserve is getting transferred to capital. So for bonus share, I gave you an journal entry. It is equity share capital to SPR, security premium reserve. Just example I'm telling you. So where there is a flow of money, there's no flow of money. So this is not taken into consideration. Now. Transactions not regarded as cash flow. This we discussed. Transferring cash from one pocket to another pocket. This not regarded as cash flow. Please mark it very, very important. From one pocket to another pocket. It's not a flow of money. Yeah. Non-cash transaction. Non-cash transactions are those transactions which does not involve cash, and therefore inflow and outflow of cash and cash equivalent does not take place. For example, can you give me an example of non-cash transaction? Depreciation. Now, tell me one thing. What is the base? What is the base for preparing the cash flow? Under indirect method. Under the indirect method, financial statement. Guys, financial statement is the base. From there, you take all the information. So in the financial statement, that is the statement of P&L, you have depreciation now. So depreciation is a non-cash item to be ignored. Ignored means we'll give a treatment to it, but the depreciation does not involve a cash inflow or outflow. Issue of equity shares or debenture for a consideration other than cash. I've raised the capital, but I did not get money instant. I've got services from you. You gave me a service, I gave you debenture. So I'm issuing debenture. So my loan is getting increased, but for that money is coming inside the business. So issue of debentures or issue of shares for consideration other than cash is a non-cash transaction.
Sir?
Yes, boss.
So what if we purchased an asset
Purchase an asset?
by issuing debentures, sir? Is
Same
that
thing,
an
no.
investing
Then
activity?
again, so you have issued the debenture. Instead, you're getting the business or asset.
Yes.
So again, this is a non-cash transaction.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do it quickly, guys. Illustration number 9. Segregate the following transaction into operating activity, investment activity, finance activity, and cash equivalent. Now let's see how clearly you understood. Cash sale. Operating activity.
Operating activity.
Cash inflow.
Fine.
Rent paid.
Operating activity, cash outflow, sir.
Rent paid is paid for my office now. Office is for my main operation. So operating activity,
Cash outflow, sir.
income tax paid.
Operating
Income tax
activity, cash
paid
outflow.
is for the core business. For my business profit, I pay tax. So unless mentioned otherwise, see, income tax can be paid for even investment activity. For example, if I sell share, on that, if I pay tax, then that is investment activity. If nothing is mentioned, income tax is my operational activity. So operational activity and cash outflow. Balance at bank.
Cash and cash equivalent,
Cash
sir.
and cash equivalent. Issue of debenture. Now, this company is financing company or a non-financing company? How are you saying that? It's not given. If nothing is mentioned, the assumption is non-finance company.
Non-finance company.
So issue of debenture means I'm raising the funds. So it is a
Investment activity.
Not investment activity. I'm not investing
Yes,
in
sir.
debenture. I'm not subscribing debenture. I'm issuing a debenture for which I'm getting the money. It is a finance activity, which is cash inflow.
Sir, if they're investing means they give the name as purchasing debenture, no, sir? Like,
Come again.
sir, if they're gonna invest on that particular debenture, they're gonna give the word as purchase of debentures.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now cash paid against trade payable. Cash paid against operating activity. Cash inflow or outflow. Income
Outflow.
tax refund received. If income tax is operating, the refund is also operating.
Inflow, sir.
But it is inflow. Operating activity, cash inflow. Sale of patent. Patent is intangible asset. Investing in tangible or tangible asset is a investment activity. So sale proceed from patent is my investment activity, which is cash inflow. Yes, I'm telling you, if you have any doubts anywhere, without any hesitation, please stop me then and there and get it clarified. Without understanding this, you will not be able to crack any of the questions of the cash flow statement. Patent is what is patent? Wait. What is financing activity? I'm raising the funds for doing the business. Patent, are you selling to raise the funds? Is the motivation that no? I had investment, I sold it. So investment activity. Now clear? Purchase of goodwill. Goodwill is intangible asset. Purchase of goodwill, which means I purchased the
Investment
profit
is
of some other business. So it got recorded in my books of accounts as intangible asset. I sold that to somebody else. So it is investment activity. Cash
outflow, sir.
outflow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uttain is out on purchase of securities, non-marketable. Investment activity, cash outflow, non-marketable. Marketable na cash and cash equivalent. Cash purchase. Operating activity, cash outflow. Cash in hand.
Cash and cash equivalents.
Cash and cash equivalent. Office expenses.
Operating activity, cash outflow.
Cash outflow. Sale of machine by dealer of machine.
Operating activity, cash inflow.
Look at the tricky part. Huh? Sale of machine by the dealer of machine. My
Operating
main business
activity,
is
cash
what?
inflow.
Buying and selling machinery. That is my stock in trade. Had this word not been given, sale of machine, then this machine is asset. If I'm buying something with the intention to resell, that becomes my stock, and stock is my operation. If I buy an asset for using it, then that becomes my investment. Yes, Brinda. Dealer of, you're a dealer of machine. Let's suppose you're dealing with washing machine. So you're buying washing machine and selling washing machine. So buying and selling of washing machine is operation or investment? Operation. So you are the dealer of washing machine. So from your point of view, this is what operating activity. Tata. Clear? Okay. So cash inflow. Dividend paid. Dividend is paid for what?
Shareholders.
To shareholders. So from shareholders, I have raised money. Finance. So dividend paid is also financing activity. Financing activity, cash
Inflow.
purchase of machine alone is given now.
Investing.
Asset investment activity.
Investment activity.
Cash outflow. Issue of share capital. Financing activity.
Financing activity.
Cash inflow. Purchase of marketable security.
Cash and cash equivalent.
Marketable security. Marketable security.
Cash and cash equivalents.
Marketable security. Purchase of marketable security.
Cash
Cash
and
and
cash
cash equivalent. Marketable securities means I've done investment where I can liquidate it within 3 months of investment. So that is marketable securities. Cash and cash equivalent. So cash outflow. Short-term deposits with bank. Short-term deposits with bank.
Cash and cash equivalents.
Cash received from debtors. Operating activity.
Operating activity.
See, short-term
Inflow.
deposits and current investments. There is a note that was given when we read that unless mentioned otherwise, it is always treated as marketable securities. If they exclusively say it is non-marketable, only then short-term deposits and current investments has to be taken as. Yes. So make a highlight of this point. So this is one point where things can lead to confusion. So I would suggest that once you go back home, do this all question once by yourself, and you will be able to categorize the questions into 3 parts. Either it will be easy, medium, or tough. Easy ones, you can, if you're getting it right now, you can get it right anytime. Medium and tough ones are those which can lead to confusion. So you have to mark that. And the tough ones you have to definitely mark it, because in the exams, there is high probability of you repeating the same mistake what you're making it now. So frequent revision will help you to avoid that mistakes. I'm giving you illustration 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm not giving anything as homework because you guys, I know you will not do it. Okay, na? So I will do it. I know. I'm just waiting. You know how eager you are to take homework. So yes. So guys, yes, that's all from my end for today's class. I'll see you all in the next class, guys, which is on Wednesday. Until then, bye-bye. See you. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.